I hope you didn't think best ball season was over. It's not over. Week 2 contests. Week 2 contests on DraftKings. Even sooner than I probably thought. They certainly didn't give us any time off. With Underdog and DraftKings dropping NBA, Underdog dropping NHL, and now already week 2 contests. It starts to make you think, like, are we going to have new ones every single week? This one on DraftKings in particular is very much so going to overlay. I'm looking at it right now. There's 1,075 entrants out of 8,640 seats. Seems like it's going to be tough to fill that by tomorrow's Sunday Night Football game. I could be wrong. You guys are crazy. We're all pretty crazy about all this stuff. But we shall see. So, hope everybody had a great week 1. And now we're on to week 2. No time to even like overreact to everything. Just time to start drafting again. So if you're here and you're watching, you're hanging out, I'm gonna hop in this $20 week 2 best ball right now. And we're at 9 of 12. 9 of 12. But yeah, hope week 1 was good for everybody. It was pretty good for best ball, I feel like. If you played DFS and you won, congratulations. I definitely did not. Shout out Raheem Mostert. I hope he's okay. But he might have sunk his career just like he sunk my my DFS teams and sunk some of our best ball teams. They obviously, that's a big point for what I've noticed about the structure of this tournament is that I'll be honest with you, I didn't even look. So let me check this out, Jack. I've noticed that weeks 15 and 16 are a lot more important than week 17. I definitely wouldn't say more important just off the top of the dome, but you might be Did I miss it in contest details? Boy, they make it nice and difficult for us to find tournaments. Here we go. Trying to see how many advance. Draft filled. Jack, do you have the exact information on that? 1 of 12. 1 of 12. Okay. So fairly similar to other sites. A little smaller in 15, 16. Still, it's only 8,000 people, right? Yeah, 8,000. So should certainly be a little bit. Oh, week 17 is 10 man. Wow, interesting. So definitely smaller fields along the way. I think that makes kind of some of the, not to do the got it. The difference is that week 17 is just 10 teams. I think that makes the biggest difference to me, again, just off the top of the dome, being correlating more. The smaller the fields shrink, the more the less you sacrifice in needing you need to hit the stone cold nuts less, right? Like in the $20 milli on DraftKings here, you really want to hit, like, you kind of have to hit the stone cold nuts. Part of that is going to be a stack, but also like having like 4 Cowboys when it comes to that playoff week, maybe you don't want that. And then definitely on like Underdog, you're kind of trying to hit the stone cold nuts a little bit more than you are trying to, just win these smaller fields. So correlating a little bit more. And then a tiny bit of uniqueness, if you will, dare I say uniqueness, will help, because you get to that last week and having a sort of unique guy that scores 2 touchdowns can really help. Let's see who's gone so far. Pretty chalky Pretty chalky start. I see that. I've admittedly only done one of these, and I see the ADP has adjusted a little bit since the first one that I did. I like this name, T-Mar DeRozan. I definitely see some of you guys in here. Somebody asked about Elijah Mitchell in this on Twitter, and so let's just go ahead and knock the Elijah Mitchell thing out of the way right up front, like asking, with Mostert out, is Mitchell, like a top 15 back or something like that in this? And I think he's going to be drafted. You guys can correct me if you guys have done a few more. He went in the 4th or 5th round, I think, for me. I mean, this is just silly. What are we doing here with the? It's interesting. Mitchell, I can't remember the draft I did last night. In the 4th or 5th round, I believe, Elijah Mitchell went. And I think the problem is, so even if he's Raheem Mostert, right? Let's just say he's a 1-for-1 replacement for Raheem Mostert. We weren't taking a Raheem Mostert that high. I'm excited. I am both simultaneously excited about the potential of Elijah Mitchell and terrified for, the rug getting pulled out from underneath this guy. I think he's pretty good. I think he's explosive. I think he's going to get his shots. But I think if we pretend like this thing is going to be predictable the rest of the way, whether Trey Sermon finally gets on the field and maybe he starts producing, whether JaMychal Hasty gets touches, whether when Jeff Wilson comes back, whether maybe they, I know Wayne Gallman was inactive for the Falcons. Maybe they're like, maybe let's go try to get Wayne Gallman back. I just think, when we think about the dead zone types of running backs, Elijah Mitchell would be that. And so I don't think we should overreact and take him too high here. I actually kind of want to take Trey Sermon if he's going to fall, or JaMychal Hasty late, instead of Elijah Mitchell if he's going to go super high. And that's not even, like I said, that doesn't even have anything to do with the fact that I am excited for Elijah Mitchell. I was excited for Raheem Mostert, and I think he has not the same level of explosiveness, but he has a little bit of that explosiveness, which is perfect for this scheme, especially once Trey Lance gets in here. I think there's reasons for optimism, but I think we also have to be realistic about the situation that we're talking about. So it's kind of a balancing act between those two things. Zeke is falling now, eh? Ridley is falling. Quarterback. These people in the quarterbacks are so funny. I know this people will think this is blasphemy, but I'm taking Gibson over Zeke. Also, for the brand, I just tweeted out, I find it funny, some of the things that we latch on to after 1 week. Like, we pick and choose things that matter and things that don't matter. Like, for the most part, people, the market has gotten really smart. There's so many smart people like on Twitter posting some of these things. Snap counts, obviously, or snap counts are the funny one that I think is a little bit silly, but target shares, offensive shares, some a little bit more advanced stuff that maybe the casual person doesn't want to go look up, not just snap counts without context. But Antonio Gibson was like the most interesting one to me, because he's one that I didn't like. Maybe, again, it probably just like my bubble, right? People are talking about Zeke a fair amount because, and giving Zeke a pass, which I pretty much agree with from week 1, giving, Najee a pass because he played every snap, right? David Montgomery looked good. Henderson played almost every snap, talking about these guys. And Antonio Gibson, didn't play every snap. So I guess that's why we're like, I haven't seen the hype about Antonio Gibson a bunch, but if anything, I'm like so much more bullish on Gibson. I know Fitzmagic got hurt and that sucks, but I think Heineken can be just fine for Antonio Gibson. And he was 51% of the Washington offense in week 1. They ran 49 offensive plays, and he got 20 carries and 5 targets. He led the team in targets, and he had 20 carries. and he got dinged up and he fumbled. And they did. He was the offense more than Terry McLaurin, more than Logan Thomas. De'Ami Brown wasn't a thing. J.D. McKissick didn't do anything. Jarrett Patterson didn't do anything. Antonio Gibson was the offense. Now, am I expecting 51% of the offense? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that was not playing all like more snaps. That was not playing all, third downs and stuff. And we know the defense is good. So I'm even more bullish on Antonio Gibson. So I'm buying him in this contest. If Mitchell were a 1-to-1 comp to Mostert, Mitchell would be the early season play and Sermon would eventually win the job and be it's definitely never that simple. I agree. But it is kind of fascinating, right? Like, we were like, okay, we didn't really think Elijah Mitchell, Elijah Mitchell was always like, a potential like late round guy. I didn't really take him. I think I have like 2 Elijah Mitchell shares on like hundreds and hundreds of basketball teams. But Sermon was the guy that takes over as the year goes on, is also like the touchdown scorer, because Mostert's not going to be the red zone guy. And I think that that's possible still now for Sermon. But Elijah Mitchell is also a rookie, and Mostert was the older guy, kind of obviously injury prone veteran. So it's going to be, that's one of the most fascinating situations for sure that we have of week 1. No, what are you talking about? The one game against the Texans where Chark caught 3 of 12 targets. That's a victory lap. You guys are wild. Catches 1 long touchdown. And we victory lap that. It's like victory lap in the Josh Jacobs thing. I don't get it. All right. Let's see. I have Gibson and Diggs. Good Lord, Montgomery being up here is so wild. This is the 3rd round. I also am kind of confused by, I am going to take CH. CH not getting, CH was another interesting one. He didn't have the production that we wanted, similar to Gibson. He didn't have the production that we wanted, box score wise, but like we should be encouraged by the CEH bet. If you were like CEH as a 3rd round pick, you should be encouraged. I think Chiefs kind of fell behind. The matchup was brutal for CEH. It's going to get better. Like if he scores a touchdown, are we buying him? I don't get it. I'm a little, I don't get it. Let me catch up here. I don't think anyone has the speed similar to Mostert. Elijah is more explosive than Sermon. Sermon is also better between the tackles runner, I think, than Elijah. I mean, I don't think people understand how explosive Mostert is. He's the fastest, continues to be the fastest timed player in the NFL. So yeah. And so hammer, bringing this Jay White's point, hammer them early and often because the crowd is slow to react. I think the crowd is they rarely react appropriately is what the thing is. I don't know that they're slow to react. Everybody's reacting to Tyson and David Montgomery and reacting to all these different things. Ooh. See, like Debo. I mean, what are we doing here, guys? We might robust running back this puppy. With some Hendo, maybe. Hold on. Oh, actually, I can't do that. Come on. We can't do that. Got to stick with DJ Moore. Got to stick to our guys. I was also super encouraged about DJ Moore. He looked like a baller. They really took the foot off the gas in the second half. That really sucked. The offense looked awesome in the first half. DJ Moore looked like a smash, and I'm really excited for DJ Moore. And they won't be able to. Their defense is pretty good, and they just flat out dominated the Jets. I don't know if anybody watched that game, but I'm very encouraged about the Panthers, CMC included. I mean, CMC is still CMC. He's the man. Maybe a little discouraging for Robbie. Robbie kind of took on that deep flyer role, but that's going to, that'll have some spikes when they keep the foot on the gas a little bit more. But I think DJ Moore was the guy that, like, oh baby, DJ Moore and CMC like wheels up, I think, on those guys. Yeah, Chark was top 3 in air yards because they were down by 3 scores to the frickin' Texans, and Lawrence was just throwing up prayer yards to him. He caught 3 of them. Like, we pick and choose when, like, air yards are great. Air yards are absolutely great, but in one singular week without any other context, it's like we don't got to latch onto. We don't have to do the Chark versus Visca thing. We talked about this at the end of the season. I bought Chark. I actually have quite a bit of Chark now because I was buying the shit out of him to close the season. But let's not pretend like one game when they got their absolute asses kicked by the worst team in the NFL, well, maybe the second worst team in the NFL, maybe the Jags are the worst, is like some victory lap time. Yeah, love Mike Williams. Love Mike Williams very much so on the Chargers. Keenan looked amazing. And a couple of plays go differently. Mike Williams actually had a couple drops. A couple of plays go differently. Mike Williams dropped a ball in the end zone that he should have caught, in my opinion, on a fade. And Keenan had a bad drop. Herbert and the Chargers might have smashed. And that was against Washington. And Washington's defense is still really, really, really good. And I thought the Chargers looked even better than I thought that they were going to. The offensive line looked amazing. Herbert looked good. Keenan is still Keenan. And I thought Mike Williams looked good. Also, Jalen Guyton was the wide receiver 3, not Josh Palmer, which is funny. But very much so encouraged by the Chargers. And that's another one where the Mike Williams box score looks pretty good because he did 8 for 80 and a touchdown, but it could have been just an absolute smash. And same thing for Keenan, could have been an absolute smash. Keenan scored 22 fantasy points without catching a touchdown against in a brutal matchup. T Pitts is gone. I'm going to do Andrews. One thing that was interesting, I don't know if it's – I was a little bit not lower on Andrews, but I just preferred Hawkinson and Pitts basically. Andrews was kind of lumped in the middle there, and I personally preferred Hawkinson and preferred Pitts, and then I preferred the 3 elite guys. So I don't have a ton of Andrews, especially on DraftKings where it's PPR, but I did think it was at least interesting, and I don't know I don't know if it will sustain at all, but he played a lot more than he used to play. He still might have a little bit of the dropsies. Maybe we're just going to have to live with the Mark Andrews drops forever. But I think it was Dwayne McFarland tweeted out some good, interesting nuggets on Mark Andrews. And I think with their running back situation, they might need to lean on and their defensive situation. The Raiders carved them up. I'm not like writing. Damn it! I really wanted to get it with the Lamar stack. I'm not writing off the Ravens defense by any stretch of the imagination, but they did lose Marcus Peters, and I think it's it's at least realistic to think about like what if the Ravens do kind of take a little bit of a step back. I am gonna. Let's try to have a little fun here. I know this is not going to work because I am up in 14 picks, but that's okay. We can still go for it. Should have thought about that ahead of time. But I don't have a ton of Herbert in the preseason best ball drafts. And I really wanted Lamar and Andrews right there. That was really what I was going to kind of try to push for. So now we'll see what we can do with Herbert. Like I said, I don't have a ton. And so try to make something happen. Andrews monster buy low. Yeah. He's definitely going to be boom bust just because of the nature of that offense. If they are able to, if the defense is playing well and they are able to run the crap out of the ball, I think there's real concern. If you guys watched that game, I'm not trying to be super hand in the dirt, but that offensive line looked bad, like legit bad. I mean, Villanueva at right tackle is an absolute swinging gate. They got to find a new right tackle. And Ronnie Stanley, I think I saw somebody tweet out Ronnie Stanley at left tackle had a 0% rush win rate or something like that. I'd have to go back and double check it. Basically, Ronnie Stanley played like shit at left tackle, and Villanueva got absolutely dusted by Max Crosby all night long at right tackle. I mean, you saw Lamar was running for his life. Jack, come on. It was set up so perfect, too. Maybe I should have done Lamar, and then I don't know. I don't know what I don't think I was getting it. I don't think I was getting it either way, but that's okay. That's okay. I think the Ravens are fascinating to me moving forward, because I think the offensive line issues could lead to like this season where Lamar is going to have to do some crazy shit running around. And I mean, look what he did, running around like a madman. And he needs to throw the ball better. But I think it's possible that the Ravens passing ceiling does kind of come through. I think it's more feasible now. You know, again, it's 1 week. That's always the context we have to apply. We're not overreacting to 1 week, but I think there are certain situations where like the market is not reacting to that, right? The market isn't taking in the contextual factors about the offensive line, about the defense or whatever. God damn it. Mike Williams goes. Almost got him. That is brutal. That is brutal. You guys are the worst. There goes Robbie. Here, are you happy? Sir, are you happy? I just took the top three in air yards. Exactly. I had it. It was set up so perfect. One more pick. Interested to see what Bateman does. I agree. I was taking, I don't know what you guys were doing at the end of, on DraftKings, especially at the end of DraftKings preseason best ball drafts. The market had kind of shifted or whatever. Bateman was like available in the 19th, 20th round. No, he was like going undrafted sometimes. And I started to scoop him up, and I was not doing that. I'm pretty anti taking injured guys, especially guys that are, rookie injured guys on run heavy offenses. And now I feel better about having taken Bateman now. I mean, Sammy Watkins and Hollywood both looked pretty good. And I think Bateman could step in and take over a lot more of that passing offense. And if the passing offense is, a little higher volume than we kind of originally thought, I'm excited for Bateman when he comes back. Okay, I guess I need to start looking at what we got going here. Kviska, God. You guys. You're killing me. Absolutely killing me. I'll take me some Jalen Waddle. I thought Waddle looked awesome. I know Fuller will be back here, but be back this week. Excuse me. But I think both can be pretty good. Tua's got to play a little bit better, but I actually have faith in Tua. Twitter hates Tua. Every time Tua doesn't look awesome, everybody hates him. Never seen a guy that gets like Lawrence is getting a pass. I know he's a rookie and Tua's in his second year. Lawrence is getting a pass for getting wrecked by the Houston Texans and throwing 3 interceptions against the Houston Texans are trying to lose, in my opinion. They're playing Tyrod Taylor, 3 dusty running backs. Brandon Cooks is their wide receiver 1, and they let everyone go. They just traded Bradley Roby even before week 1. They're admittedly rebuilding. And Trevor Lawrence, who I'm excited about and drafted a ton, got destroyed by that team. And people are just think it's just one game. It's Urban Meyer's fault. Not Trevor Lawrence playing like shit. But Tua goes against the Patriots. And he's not named the captain. He's not the captain. he plays well enough against the Patriots to get the job done. And we're out on Tua. We always have, I just think the reactions, everybody has to have reactions. I have to look at these things, but I think it's always fascinating to see the extent of the reactions and what things we choose to react to. You know what I mean? Like the Gibson thing. I feel like nobody was like saying anything about this Gibson stuff, and I thought it was kind of fascinating. And then, we're talking about Najee every 2 seconds because he played 100% of snaps. Like he played 100. Like we kind of thought he was going to play 100% of snaps, and he didn't do shit, which is also what I thought was going to happen. But this other guy touches the ball on 51% of the offensive plays, and nobody says a peep because he didn't do much and he didn't play every snap. Just very weird stuff. All right. Tunyon goes. I'll take Marvin now. Yeah, these ADPs have very much so adjusted since last night when I did a draft. That is for sure. My opinion hasn't changed on Mixon really. Where do you think Mixon should be going? Late, same spot as he was going. We knew he was going to be kind of a workhorse. Samaje Perine spelled him just a little bit. Bengals. Second, I can pull up the exact data. I think again, I'm not trying to overreact to the Bengals being really run heavy. I think that was a little bit of a surprise. Mixon playing most of the snaps and playing passing downs was the expectation going in. Thank God, finally got a stack. No Visca though. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up. Snaps. Yeah, so Perine played 22% of snaps. So you Mixon is about an 80% snap player, something like that. But tons of the volume was really nice. The issue is that they were winning. Every time. Haven't had a stream in months where the dogs didn't go crazy. The issue for Mixon is just that they ran the ball well. He got not lucky on touchdown, but ran good on a goal line touchdown. And they were playing with a lead against the Vikings, and it went to overtime. So I think this is the expectation. It's gonna go swing the other way at times too. When you're not on a very good team with not a very good offensive line, he's not going to run for 100 yards. But he's not playing every single snap. He's about an 80% player, which I think is a fair expectation. He's going to get spelled a little bit. So I still like Mixon. I'm not sure. I still don't think he necessarily has the legendary upside, but I wouldn't be discouraged at all by my Mixon shares that I have, and I do have. I drafted Mixon some. Just being bullish on the Bengals offense. They definitely did not throw it as much as most people expected. They're very run heavy, which I don't think is going to be a very good recipe for them personally. Damn it. This draft is far too sharp. I can't get anybody that I want here. James White. What do I even have? I have 2 running backs. Okay. 5 receivers, 2 quarterbacks. Okay. This is good. What was Rager's? All 6 targets. Please don't take him. J. However you say your name. Don't take him. Okay. And Mecole, yeah. I was going to take Hardman or Rager. Those are the two guys I was down to there. Hardman is a fascinating one because yet again, he does nothing in a game script where they are passing a ton with Patrick Mahomes and no target competition besides Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and Hardman does nothing again. It's like at a certain point where there's smoke, there's fire, and the kid just might not be very good. I'm willing to buy some still in it like this specific in week 2, these week 2 drafts over the next 24 hours or whatever, because I'm not going to overreact to the 1 week. And I still expect that he's going to have some spikes. I mean, they'll get him the ball in space and he'll house a couple this year for sure. That's just like a certainty. But in terms of being a good 8th round pick or whatever he was going on underdog, I do feel a little skittish about that, but he's much cheaper here. Elijah, that's a good one. Good pick, another guy in the 130s here. Gallup is a really interesting one. I am definitely not adjusted to this ADP. It's like doing your first draft of the season. Gotta figure out how I'm gonna get a Herbert stack together here. I thought Brian Edwards was encouraging. Yeah, Gabe he did catch the touchdown. Gabe did. Ooh, Terrace goes. That is unfortunate. Let's see what we got here. Really liked Terrace there. I hate you guys a ton. I actually am going to take Kenny Gainwell. Very excited for Kenny Gainwell, especially on DraftKings. For any shares you have of Kenny Gainwell, I feel, he scored a touchdown, but I just think seeing him mix in was really, really nice. And running back, everybody has swooped in and stolen so many of the good backs. I got a couple of late round guys I want to target for sure. Like I mentioned, the 49ers guys are fascinating, like, Hasty, even Jeff Wilson, if you really want to get aggressive. I'm not sure. I don't know about the week 2 contests for Jeff Wilson. We're going to get more, right? We're going to get, I don't know if we'll get every week, but we'll get, at least week 4, week 6, week 9, whatever. And in those, that's when I definitely would be interested in targeting, Jeff Wilson. But I did kind of want to get another guy that I think, and Gainwell also has a ton of contingent value. I think Miles Sanders is certainly the lead there, but I think Boston Scott was not a part of the offense. So I think Gainwell should be kind of in the old like Latavius tier, right? Their offensive line also looked really good. Hurts also looked really good. So I think being bullish on the Eagles is another kind of lesson from week 1. Again, not overreacting. It's the Falcons. The Falcons are going to make a lot of teams look good, but I thought how the Eagles played, how they used Hurts was like a small concern. How are they going to use Hurts? Are they going to game plan around the things that Hurts does really well? And they did that. So, it's certainly going to get tougher than the freaking Falcons defense, but positive steps for the Eagles, I think. Okay. How many, I feel like I'm naked in these drafts. Like, it's like we did so many drafts in the off season for so long that I just like the ADPs are just like ingrained in my brain, the old ones. Like I knew who was available in every round. Like literally, okay, so-and-so went, all right, I got this guy to target. Like, I mean, I never felt uncomfortable. And now, like, I don't have any idea who's available when at all. There's a very awkward feeling. I mean, Zach Pascal at 151. What are we doing here? I am interested in Hamler. With Judy hurt, I think that's what I'm going to do. Very, very interested in KJ Hamler. Almost caught a bomb. If you watched that game, KJ Hamler was very close to being an absolute smash in week 1. Just missed a long touchdown. Who didn't miss a long touchdown? Van Jefferson. That was kind of funny. Also, not great for my Deshaun Jackson picks. Not great for my good friend Ben Gretch's Van Jefferson is garbage takes. But the Rams look good. The Bears look very bad. We'll see how that continues. I'm very interested to see how the Bears look when Fields gets in there. I think one thing that Evan Silva pointed out to me, like before the season started, and we kind of saw some indications of it from the preseason, was just how bad the Bears secondary might be. And now the Rams are a really good passing offense. Stafford is good. That's a tough matchup. But I think that might be the case, that they're a team we want to target, which in turn makes their kind of like definitely makes Fields interesting and makes their pass catchers pretty interesting. I also just realized I think my quarterbacks have the same bye week. Probably something I should have noticed before, literally right now. Oof, how many receivers do I have? 7. This is gross, guys. This is gross. I'm not giving up on Paris Campbell yet. We're not giving up, guys. We're not giving up on the Colts. Don't give up on them. That was discouraging. Yeah, this is actually a really good question. I'm working on NBA rankings right now, hoping to get some NBA very first rough draft NBA rankings up, and we got some more stuff in works from some NBA, very sharp NBA people that I work with. NBA rankings coming. Hopefully, have something up later today with NBA rankings. What I'm going to do now that I think this is I've been lazily not updating the NFL rankings, but what my plan is now is to keep NFL rankings constantly up to date on the site, so that every time they launch a week 3 contest, week 4 contest, week 5 contest. So I don't have that up right now, and I probably will not have that up, in time to capitalize on it for week 2. But moving forward for the rest of the season, NFL rankings will be up on the site, and they'll be constantly updated, like every Tuesday morning, probably. I'll update them. So I appreciate your guys' patience. This is all new for me too. This is new for everybody. The sites don't tell me when they're launching contests and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of just trying to react to what they're doing with the content and rankings and shows and everything. So that's, part of my goal is to react as quickly as I can to what these sites are giving us. Yeah. I mean, I'm taking some, I definitely, like I said, I don't know who's like available later. So you guys are watching me, kind of fly blind as well. But I think, definitely guys have gotten pulled up, right? Like KJ Hamler. I mean, as they should. Kenny Gainwell, right? These guys have gotten pulled up, but this is certainly not the strongest roster I've ever drafted. It's definitely not. I mean, last night I drafted a much stronger team than this. I think there's some late values, like some super, super late values, but they're not like the world's strongest plays. Whereas I do actually think the field has sharpened up kind of like the the best plays have actually all been pulled into more reasonable ADPs, which, you know, was not the case. Particularly at wide receiver. I think at running back, it's okay. I think at running back, there's at least like some zero RB type guys at running back later, but it's pretty bad. It gets pretty thin at wide receiver. I mean, Anthony Schwartz is getting drafted. It was pretty funny to watch him getting quite a few targets. I am actually gonna, yeah, I'm gonna do hasty. I need to go. I guess Jared Cook goes pretty early in this, huh? Probably should have looked for Jared Cook a little bit earlier, but such is life. Week 15, top 2 advanced, not top 1. Okay. And then top two advanced. Okay. Yeah. Appreciate you, David. We're going to figure all this out. So I did create, for those of you that are in the Discord, we've had the NBA channels up and running. Obviously have had the NFL channels up and running. Somebody asked for a battle royale channel, which is underdogs, like weekly draft format. That channel is up in Discord, and then NHL channels are also up in Discord. So we should be up to speed on every channel to have all the different conversations around the insane amount of best ball stuff that's out there now. How quickly everyone has given up on Diami. I'm still excited about Diami. Now I need to decide what I'm going to do here at. Well, I am happy. One lesson learned from this draft is getting an elite tight end. I feel good. I feel good about getting an elite tight end because woof. Did Ingram? Yeah. I didn't think he practiced yesterday. And Ertz is hurt. Okay. I think I might be eating this 0 at quarterback in my bye. We'll see about that. We're learning on the fly. This is, it has definitely dried up the player pool, as Josh said earlier. It dries up, man. It's kind of crazy. And then it's so foreign, like who is available. And I don't have firm rankings up to date or anything like that. So I do think it's going to overlay quite a bit. And I do think there's quite a bit of edge in these contests. So, if you got a few bucks burning a hole in your pocket, maybe you, unlike me, you won in DFS week 1. I think these contests are pretty good. But just like the preseason contest, it took me time to kind of figure out who I liked in what rounds, knowing the ADP, ideally you know the ADP like the back of your hand, right? And then you know where certain pockets of the draft are, where guys you like are, where stacks you can set up are. And I definitely don't know that right now in this ADP environment. And so that's going to be one thing but no one does really, right? So that's an interesting thing moving forward. If we do have these literally weekly, knowing that the edge is very much so in roster construction, structure, and probably not overreacting too much to certain things. Figuring out what the right reaction is to the week-to-week stuff and still building good structure, even though none of us are experts in the ADP of this contest. I think it's kind of fascinating. It also gives us outs right? Like maybe you had a ton of Raheem Mostert. Having these every single week allow you to, continue to get live teams with new information. I think it's pretty exciting. Damn it. Really wanted my guy, Darnold. Albert O gets drafted. That doesn't make me feel very good for the fact that I need a second tight end. If we're already into the Albert O gets drafted section of drafts. Woof. Damn it. Every time I look at, I can't even look at a player's name without them getting drafted. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. I have a player here, and I swear to God, he's not at the top of ADP. And I swear to God, if he goes, I'm never streaming another in-season. Okay. It's tough scenes when you have to draft Jalen Guyton to close out a freaking Charger stack. I think he did. I think he had a couple catches. Yeah. 3 of 5 targets. 5 targets for Jalen Guyton. Better than I ever would have guessed. I mean, they threw it like 45 times, but still. Jalen Guyton's Chris Hogan. Which didn't Chris Hogan score a touchdown? Tough scenes, Jack. That's what happens when you get sniped for Mike Williams on your Justin Herbert stacks. You have to pray for Jalen Guyton. Not even in the last round. You have to pray for like 16th round, 17th round Jalen Guyton. I mean, right now, I'm not saying that, like, sneak peek, I might draft Palmer if he's still around. But Guyton played significant. Palmer didn't play very much. 14 snaps, 12 snaps, 14 snaps, somewhere in the like low teens, barely into double-digit snaps for. God blessed, guys. Is Heineke around? Oh. No, I think we're just going to be eating this. Okay, we're coming back to running back. This is bad. 8 seconds. 8 seconds. You know who's kind of interesting, actually, was Cephas. The entire offense revolved around the running backs and Hawkinson. Obviously, people have talked about that a lot. I didn't even know that Tyrell was still available. That's kind of funny. But I thought Cephas, he was very inefficient on his 7 targets. But of the wide receivers, Cephas was the guy getting targeted and in the red zone. So, I believe I did a draft with NBC Sports Edge, Pat Kerrane, chip chasing Pat Kerrane, a long time ago, months ago. Feels like years ago now. But he called Quintez Cephas the world's worst, the world's worst or the world's cheapest second-year breakout, which I thought was kind of interesting. That's always stuck with me. Like, if I'm backed into a corner and Cephas is there, I'll take Cephas. No, he runs like a 4. I think I could still beat him in a 40. But he drew some targets. The Lions are going to be, if the Lions are really going to be losing like this all year, then guys are going to have usable weeks. Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but I'd be lying to you if I said I have any faith that I can predict what Bill Belichick is going to do with his running backs. I don't think so. But then you see the instant comments about like JJ Taylor and stuff, right? Which is pretty bizarre to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's true. This was the other one that's crazy. O'Shaughnessy had 8 targets. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I might take him, though, because I have a Jag stack. Parham didn't freaking play. That was unfortunate. I can't believe James O'Shaughnessy had 8 targets. How many attempts? I stopped watching that game. 51. Good Lord. That's so bad. Okay, let's focus. I'm taking the Ramondre. I'm taking the Ramondre dive here. I think it's worth it at this cost on this team. Yeah, it's not great, but I thought it was encouraging that he even got into the game, and we'll see what. But maybe Bill is done with that. But I like the kind of potential double contingent value with James White and Harris at this point in the draft. Very awkward draft this was. Very, very awkward. Jack, what's your are you Crease? Is that how you say it? Creasel? Okay. Now it's time for a tight end, and it's either Parham or O'Shaughnessy. I just don't think I can take James O'Shaughnessy. That just feels... I guess I'm doing it. I can't believe I just drafted James O'Shaughnessy. Got the old Jalen Guyton, James O'Shaughnessy team. And a Patriots running back that's probably going to get benched. Probably not winning 50K with this one, guys. Probably not winning 50K. With the stack of a super stack of the team that lost to the Houston Texans. We are probably not winning 50K with this one, but it was fun. It was nice to be back doing NFL best ball drafts. Let me see your team here, Jack. I still really like the T-Mar DeRozan username. Lamar, yeah, I like this. JT, Anchor JT, Hero JT with Nuke, McLaurin, Devontae, Kittle. Hollywood with Lamar is nice. Visca is not. Okay, yeah, I see why you like this draft, because every single player that I was interested in is you got him. And then you latched on Bateman, which is beautiful. Pollard, Elijah, Trey Lance is plummeting. I did see that. People are not drafting Trey Lance, and they're drafting him, but you know what I mean. He's not going as highly as he was before the season, which I think is kind of funny because it's one less week you have to worry about a score from your quarterback. But anyway, Chuba is great. Palmer, DPJ. This is a beautiful team. Beautiful team. If you would like to trade teams, I'm totally in for doing that. Thank you guys for joining me. My plan moving forward is if they're going to have these every single week, we'll continue to draft these every single week. So again, kind of playing it by ear, working on getting the NBA rankings up. Got NBA content coming soon as well. I think going to do the first NBA draft stream tomorrow on Underdog. The first NBA draft stream tomorrow on Underdog. And yeah, NBA rankings and stuff coming up. I'll see you guys in the Discord. I'll also see you guys today. Happy hour doesn't stop. We're still having happy hour during the season, especially while all this crazy stuff is going on. So 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central for Best Ball Happy Hour. Best Ball season continues on. For me, for Jack, who I'm going to try to swap teams with, for Josh, for everybody else, thank you guys, and I will see you guys this afternoon.